Hey guys, welcome to my middle grade March pile of possibilities. The thing is, I have a lot of middle grade books on my shelves that I want to read, even have at least a couple from the library here. So I'm going to try to get through as many middle grade books as I possibly can in March. Generally what I tend to do is I read a ton of middle grade in March, and then I'm burnt out on the kind of like genre for a good portion of the year, but I'm okay with that. What I'm going to do this March, I think would be a lot of fun, is I'm going to show you my pile of possibilities, and then throughout the month I am going to be sharing shorts on YouTube here, sharing probably about like 4-ish books that I'm interested in reading next, and then putting up a poll and letting you guys vote. So you guys kind of get to choose which books I'm going to be reading through March. So my thought is here, I am going to be putting up the first short probably on the 26th of February here. You guys are going to be picking my first book of middle grade March. I'll have 4 options. And then every time I'm about to start a new book, I will be putting out a poll. I think that'll be fun. It's kind of like an interactive way of figuring out what I'm going to be reading this month. But if I'm sharing 4 books I'm interested in, then I'm also kind of getting a chance to mood read and read books that I'm interested in. So I have a ton of books to share here. So we'll just get on with this. Plus I plan on reading other books in March and not just middle grade ones. I'm not going to say a ton about each of these books, but a little bit. Okay, my first one is The Secret Garden. I think that I might just read this throughout the month. I have this beautiful copy that I recently hauled. I love it. The pictures are really stunning. And then I go to like one where she's like super grumpy. I haven't read The Secret Garden now for a couple years. I think I've read it at least twice. But I love the descriptions of the English countryside, and I feel like March would be a good time to read it because it's often still really cold here, but it's kind of like getting wet, and I feel like it would have a little bit of the English countryside vibe here. So a book that I'm like pretty sure I'm going to get to is The Secret Garden. This one also, my Read Your Bookshelf challenge, I believe the prompt for March is something growing on the cover. You'd think I would remember these things a little better. Yes, the prompt is something to do with growth. So either something on the cover or anything. It could be a word. So garden, and like we've got lots of growing things on these covers. So that is probably going to be my book for that prompt. Then I've got 2 graphic novels here. The first one is When Stars Are Scattered. This is, I think, about brothers who have spent most of their lives in a refugee camp in Kenya, and I don't know much more than that. I have found that I don't really like graphic novels, but I want to try some. Maybe I'll like some. My daughter has raved about this one. She said it made her cry. She loved it. One of her favorite reads of last year, so I need to read it. And then this one is called Lightfall, The Girl and the Guldurian. This one was mentioned on my Patreon book club last month. We do a book club where you just go ahead and bring a book to talk about, something that you enjoyed from the last month or something that you really didn't enjoy from the last month. And this one was mentioned, and I really like that like illustration style. I don't know, yeah, that's very much carried throughout the book. It looks fun. So I'm at least willing to try this one. And then my books are just in no particular order here. I have this one. This is Half a World Away. I got this one when I was looking for foster care and adoption books. This one has to do with a boy that was adopted years ago. His parents are going to adopt again, and now he feels like he wasn't good enough that they have to adopt again. So I think this one might be hard to read, but also really good. Then we've got The Glasstown Game. I've heard like mediocre things about this book. This is kind of based off of the Brontes and their Glasstown game that they had invented when they were young. So they had invented a game called Glasstown where their toy soldiers fight Napoleon and no one dies. It sounds interesting. The picture is like, I love the cover. It looks really cool, and I think it has illustrations throughout as well. Maybe somewhere there's illustrations. So I'm willing to try this one. We will see if I finish it or not. Then I thought about continuing on with Victoria Schwab's series here. I think book 2 is Tunnel of Bones. First one was City of Ghosts. I enjoyed that one. So this is where we've got a girl named Cassidy has a best friend that's a ghost, that she was able to see ghosts after she had a near-death experience. The funny thing is her parents are like ghost hunters, where they have like a TV show about ghosts, but they can't actually see them, and she can actually see them. And every book I think they go to like a different, I feel like, European city, because it was somewhere in Scotland, and now we're going to Paris, I think. And then the third book is also a famous city of some sort. I don't remember where. Okay, and this book I have to read, because this one it has been my daughter's favorite book of this year so far, and therefore this is making her new favorite author. So this is The Wishmakers. This is a book about a genie, and on the back here it talks about like everything I know about genies. They live in jars, they live in lamps, jars apparently. So it's a fantasy, and then like look at these like angry looking bears, like what? Oh yes, and then every wish that you get from the genie comes with some kind of consequence. Like my daughter said, if you wish to fly, then the consequence is like every time a bird flies by you, they poop on you or something like that. So interesting. I think it's gonna be not really my element, but she really wants me to read it, so I'm willing to do that. Then I really want to get into this series by Margaret Peterson Haddix. The series is called The Missing. This book is called Found, and it's rewriting the past to save the future. So I think it's sci-fi, steampunky of some sort. I have 2 books in this series that I own, so I want to give that a try. I think this one also has to do with a boy that knew he was adopted, but then his new friend Chip, who is also adopted, began receiving mysterious letters. You're one of the missing, they say. Beware, they're coming back to get you. So, interesting. And then I would also like to continue on with the Pages & Co. series. The second book is The Lost Fairy Tales. I enjoyed the book Wanderers, but now it's been a long time since I read it, so I'm curious to read another one of these. This is a world where our main character she lives in a bookshop with her grandparents. Her mom went missing one day, and they think it has something to do with books. I don't want to give away too much. Oh yes, I have the other Victoria Schwab book here. I don't actually know which one was number 2 and which one is number 1. Then I have this one from the library. This is The One Thing You'd Save. This is a poetry collection of things that kids said they would want to keep if their house was burning down or something. It's super short, would be a fast read. They do have prompts for Middle Grade March. I should have said at the beginning, I will leave Krista and Amanda and Katie's channels linked below. And one of the prompts I remember is either set in Asia or has an Asian character in it. I don't know if I'm going to be following the prompts. It might just be like, if I do, I'll check that box, but like I'm not going to necessarily try to. But this one does have to do with a character who is a Japanese girl who I think then is put into a prison camp in California after Pearl Harbor is bombed. So curious about that one. Historical fiction is not always my favorite, but this one's like super short, so I feel like I can get through that. And then on that same prompt vein, I also have Red Scarf Girl, a memoir of the Cultural Revolution. So I don't know anything about this. It's set in 1966. I don't know anything about the Cultural Revolution in China. So I don't even know, that has something to do with that, and I don't even know what that means. So I should probably read it so I know. And then I pulled this one off my shelf, Trixie Belden. I feel like maybe one of the prompts was a book older than you or something like that, and I figured this one would work. This is The Secret of the Mansion. I've heard really good things about Trixie Belden. People say that the series is like Nancy Drew, but it's better, and I've never read any, and we own a few, so I should give that one a try. This one I liked because of the foster care vibes, but also the cover. I find this cover so gorgeous. I'm a sucker for like floral things. I've always been a tomboy, but when it comes to like floral designs, I like that. My Name is Leon. It's about a boy in foster care. Oh, right. So he's got a brother. They both end up in foster care, but the younger one due to his age and skin color is adopted, while the darker skinned boy who's older is placed with a doting but ailing foster mother. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be another heartbreaker for sure. I can't do too many of those. Then this is a series that I've had the first 2 books for a long time, and no one in my family has read them yet. This is the Absolutely Truly Pumpkin Falls mystery series. I don't know anything about it, but I've had it on my shelf, so I either need to like read it or get rid of it, so it's about time I just read it. And then I have this beautiful cover, also because like flowers, Amal Unbound. I actually don't know anything about it. She unwittingly insults a member of her Pakistani village's ruling family and is forced to work at their estate. This would be a really good educational one, I think. The cover is so gorgeous. I just love the colors and the floral. And then I think this is my last one. I'm not sure. I feel like I probably forgot some. But I've got Song for a Whale. This is a book that I've heard really good things about. It's about a character, girl, boy, I'm not even sure, who is deaf, and I don't remember, something about whales. There's no blurb on the back, so other than a tiny little bit. It doesn't really tell me anything. So I'll go into this one kind of blind. So there you have it. That is my Middle Grade March TBR. I mentioned in my recommendations video that if you have a middle grade book to recommend to me, leave it in the comments. What I plan on doing is pretty much every few days throughout March, I should have a video pop up, a short video sharing the 4-ish book options that you can choose between, and then I'll have a poll available for like 24 hours to vote on, and that will be the next book that I read in March. So I think that'll be a fun way to do this. So let me know what you're reading for Middle Grade March, any suggestions you have for me.